I'm excited to be around a church-going crowd. That's what I heard. We got a church-going crowd, is that?
Yeah.
Nice. I am feeling right at home because I filled myself up with the Holy Spirit earlier today. I'm not kidding. You said which one? The one I got from the dispensary. I'm not kidding. The name of this weed is the Spiritus Sanctum. I'm like, yes. Patris. I grew up Catholic. I know what that means. Weed is amazing. I love having legal weed here now. And the fact that they'll deliver it to you. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but when you get, not only will they deliver it to you, they actually show up with it stapled in a little bag with an itemized receipt on it. There's an accountant at this weedery. I'm not. It's amazing, right? And the thing is, I've been ordering delivery for a lot of years, and over the years, as a pothead, anytime I order pizza, it's very, I don't know if you've ever tried to do this, but if you tip a pizza guy with weed, he would love you, right? They will take that over cash any day. But my question is, what do you tip your weed guy? The cash is good, but, do I give him a slice of pizza? He's not going to get mad. The other thing, it is Mother's Day weekend, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the crowd. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause. I have a mother as well, and she's 76 years old. She's a wonderful old lady, but being a 43-year-old pothead, I don't lie to her about it anymore, and she kind of has some issues with that. But I get it. She was raised in that generation where, they had a very negative connotation. They were taught things about weed that isn't true. In fact, just the other day, I was over at the house, and she came into the room. She's like, John, I was just reading on the internet, and I don't know if you know old lady speak, but if you ever hear one say that, that's translation is, the ride's about to leave the station. So go ahead and strap in. She's like, John, I was on the internet the other day, and I read that if you smoke too much marijuana, it will make you a homosexual. Right? I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I gotta get my dealer on the phone then, because I've been smoking this stuff for 20 years and I still love movies. Wieners are gross. Smoking oregano or something. But I get that, weed, some generations, they just feel potheads have this, reputation for being lazy and not being contributing members of society. And I don't know about you folks, but now that weed is more legal, we're starting to understand that that's just not true. There's some very, very dedicated potheads in our society. In fact, there's one, a couple years ago, some of you might have heard this story, an awful incident where a crazy man went on this mass shooting spree on Facebook Live. They recorded it, and then he disappeared. And Homeland Security, CIA, FBI, nobody could find him for 3 days with all the technology. Until he showed up at a McDonald's in northern Pennsylvania, Erie, Pennsylvania. And this McDonald's teenage drive-thru worker, who's obviously a pothead because of the words I just used, she sees the guy in her drive-thru lane, in the video, recognizes him, and the time it takes him to order and get to her window, she puts together a plan, tells the guy, look, I'm sorry, but your fries aren't ready yet. If you could just pull over into the spot number 3, we'll bring some out to you in about 5 minutes. And he did it, and she called the cops, and they showed up, and they arrested him right there in the parking lot, off the streets, right? That's an American hero! Yeah, we should make a poster of her or something, right? But at the same time, while I want to champion her, it also kind of worries me as a pothead, because I'm afraid the next time I end up a little bit stoned in a McDonald's drive-thru, which is going to be the next time I end up in a McDonald's drive-thru, they're going to ask me legitimately, they're going to be like, sir, I'm sorry, but it's going to be a few minutes on your apple pie. I'm like, no. I'm going to freak out for no reason. No, I know this guy. I'm not, what, did the gay ginger from Modern Family rob a liquor store or something? I'm not falling for this. As a comedian, though, in the lockdown and a pothead, I've come to understand that apparently it's my obligation to start a podcast. I didn't know. So I don't want to, but I'm a pothead, and they say if you're going to do it, you should do it about something you know a lot. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a podcast where we smoke down with our guests and then discuss fairy tales, and it'll be called Once Upon a Time. I wrote that as a joke, then I started performing it the last month or so, and so many people come up to me after the show like, that's great! I'm like, man, now I got to do that. I mean to make this a job. And I'll share this with you folks. Thanks again for supporting live comedy. I'm going to get out of the way, and we're going to keep some more very funny comedians coming up here. Here's something else I've been doing on the lockdown. Some of you might have done this as well, is kind of going back and watching a lot of old movies, you know, that's some of my favorites. Here's one of my favorites, Fight Club. You guys know that movie, Fight Club? Love that movie, right? And the thing you need to, like, what I love about that movie, if you haven't seen it, it's a great movie and you should watch it. The thing I love about it is they do a really good job. It's a big twist, right? Which a lot of movies have, but they do an excellent job of closing up all the plot holes, right? Because, like, a lot of movies, they try a twist, and then you're like, well, wait a minute, what about that scene that doesn't make any sense now, right? Fight Club does a great job of that. But I gotta say, as big of a fan as I am, there's one problem. I was watching it just the other day, and I noticed something I've never noticed before. It's the only plot hole that I found in this movie. Those of you who've seen it, you remember in the beginning, when they established that first Fight Club, initially, they go in, and there's a bouncer at the door. Like, they make a very serious point, like, hey, what's up, bouncer, guarding the door. Okay, now we're going into the Fight Club. You be out here and guard the door. Here's my question. Why do you need a bouncer out front of Fight Club? Just think about it. Like, if there's a bouncer out front of here, you don't have a ticket, and you're like, hey, I'm going to just store my way in. What is his job? To kick the crap out of you so that you don't come in, right? That's the only power he has. He's going to physically beat you if you try to force your way in. So if you're in a Fight Club and you don't belong to that Fight Club, you're like, hey man, I'm going to get in this Fight Club. And he's like, no, you don't belong here. It's like, I don't care, I'm going to get in anyway. Well, I'm going to kick the crap out of you. All right, fine. And then it happens, and then as that guy's leaving, he's like, all right, I'll see you next week. And the bouncer's like, dude, you don't belong to this club. And he's like, I kind of do. All right, thanks a lot, folks. My name's John Hauser. Have a wonderful night.